Good morning, YouTubers. T Square here with T Square Talks. Hope everybody's having a great day. Got a great video planned out for you guys today. Today, I just want to talk a little bit about what seems to happen when the price of silver and gold goes up versus what seems to happen when the price of it goes down. Because we are in a little bit of a pullback right now on silver and gold, and it's kind of interesting that everything from the views on the channel go down to sales kind of slow down to CoinShop's actually saying that they're not really selling much. Even individuals that I know personally that, they enjoy stacking, decide to slow down on stacking. And I can't help to wonder a little bit that maybe if the economy tanks or goes down like it has been, that maybe people just tend to tighten up on their money and not really want to buy safe haven assets, I guess you can say, or invest in different stuff. And I would say that would be the case, except for Bitcoin moving up really good right now, I will say. But we're going to talk a little bit about some of this stuff today, what's going on. It is the weekend. And so I didn't really have a whole lot. I almost want to stop doing videos on Saturday and Sunday because there's not really always a whole lot to talk about, and then the views have kind of been dropping off a cliff lately. I put a test together on yesterday's video and got people to comment, hit that thumbs up button, and I had a lot of thumbs up, so I can't thank y'all enough. Had a lot of comments, even if they were short and sweet comments. Good morning. It's still a comment, it's still an action. It's supposed to affect the algorithm, and yet the algorithm has just been tanking for me lately. I'm like, what in the world? How do you go from 1 or 2,000 views per video to 500? It dropped by 75% on the view rating. And, there is a lot going on right now, and I understand that precious metals have pulled back. And so for a lot of people, it's discouraging. And that's kind of what I'm going to talk about today. If you enjoyed today's video, please take a quick minute, hit that thumbs up button for me. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts on what's going on with precious metals. I love to hear them. And with that being said, let's get started. So silver right now, obviously we are in the $31 range. However, it is $31.96, so we're pretty much still $32 in my personal opinion. But as you can see, we had another down day on Friday, which was surprising. For me, I look at this as a buying opportunity. Maybe that's because some people might joke and say, yeah, it's because you're brainwashed. To a certain point, I am. I really firmly believe, I read the data. I put too much time into researching what's going on with precious metals. It only makes sense that the lower the price goes, the more the supply will dry up. Because the people that are, as some people might put it, brainwashed, or the people that are wise and understand what's going on with silver, are still going to put the same amount of money in. If they've got an extra $500 a month in their budget, or whatever they have in their budget, $100 a week, it doesn't matter. They're gonna put that same amount in if they firmly believe in it. They're gonna keep buying. The price is just the price. That's it. It does make a difference on how many ounces they get. It's nice when for a while we were only able to get 2 ounces of silver and maybe have a little change left over from that $100 bill, to now you can comfortably get 3 ounces of silver. I think I can find 3 ounces of silver all day for $100 right now. If I look around, and obviously you got to go to a coin shop, or you got to look a little bit. I'm not going to say it's easy necessarily with shipping and all these other costs that do sometimes go into it, but a lot of people don't want to take it right now. They don't want to buy it, and a lot of people think that there's going to be a huge drop next month. Whether or not that happens, I don't know. I don't think it will. I have been watching the futures contracts and seeing kind of what's going on, and it does look like there is a. Let's actually refresh this to see exactly where it's at right now. It does seem like there is a lot of contracts set up for next month. But at the end of the day, I mean, the lower silver goes, the more it gets dried up. So I'm looking at the July contracts right now. You can see there's a lot of stuff going on in July. It's still a little ways away. Here we are in May. Then, actually, I shouldn't even say next month. May, June. It's not that bad in there. It really gets really bad in July. Looking like we could see a drop. And, a lot of people say sell in May and go away. A lot of people go on vacation in the summer. You see silver sometimes dry up, essentially, for sales. Not a lot of people are buying it in the summer. For me, I want a dollar cost average down. I want to still pick up stuff when I can, especially if I can pick up some good deals here and there. The price is just the price. I mean, we've seen the price whenever it looks like it's gotten so bad and so low. What usually happens is someone eventually steps in and buys up a huge amount and takes delivery of it, and then all of a sudden, boom, the price pops, and people look back at it and they wished they had bought more or utilized that downtime, because essentially there are downtimes. There's downtimes in everything, whether it be I was about ready to say a three-letter W word, where you have that time to train, to prepare, to get ready. And right now I think you have time to really pick up stuff. But I understand there's some people that have a hard time to believe that this manipulation can't go on forever. They believe that it will happen. It will, eventually. Maybe it will pop, but maybe they, in the back of their mind, they think manipulation will just go on forever. And here's the thing that people have to understand. We are in a multi-year deficit on silver. It continues to drain out our supply. What we mine is bought up easy and then some. And I've talked time and time again about a person that, has maybe $100,000 in their savings account. And, they make maybe, let's just say hypothetically, they make, $5,000 a month, but they're spending $10,000 a month. Well, that extra $5,000 is coming out of their savings, and it's draining their savings by $5,000 essentially a month. And at the end of 20 months, they ain't going to have a savings, and then they go bust. And the same thing is happening with silver right now. That's why we're seeing the silver really get drained out of our supply, even though it is going into summer. And silver price doesn't seem to do much in the summer. People have to understand that, industrial demand is still eating up silver. And even though there's a tariff war going on, even though production might be down on certain stuff that uses silver, you have to understand that there is still production. And the production was so much before, it was heavily eating into the silver supply stockpile. And now it's slowly eating into the silver stockpile supply. So once you realize that, it doesn't matter if you're losing $5,000 a month or if you're losing $3,000 a month or $2,000 a month, you're still eating into your savings account. And that's what people have to understand when it comes to precious metals. And I understand it's just not exciting right now. I mean, we had that amazing tear. Let's take a look at year to date on silver. We had this huge move up, then we had this beat down, and then we started climbing again, and it feels like it's slowly coming down again. However, I think right around this level, we could see some resistance, because obviously you can see the way the bars shook up. We had that big drop, and then a lot of resistance was in this area, right about the $32 flat area, which is pretty much where we're at right now. But it had to eat through that before it could make that next drop down. Now, obviously, there is extreme resistance down here to where we ended up going all the way down to, and that's why it did all of a sudden pop back up real quick. And that's usually what happens when the price gets beat down so low where they're almost giving it away. A lot of times people will go in and buy, and they'll buy all they can. And I sometimes wonder if me putting in my orders right now is a little risky at $32. And I mean, let's be honest, if it goes down $2, it's nice to buy it $2 cheaper. It essentially would eat up the premiums. However, personally, for me, I'm not entirely worried, because I don't plan on selling anytime soon, and I'm looking at cash. How much cash, fiat, I want to say money for the people that are newer to the channel maybe, but how much fiat cash are you going to risk hanging on to if you know it's getting deflated away? Because it doesn't take much to see a big jump in the price of metals, even gold. We talk about gold on the channel, and gold is kind of slow right now. Gold, we got up to 3,500, and then obviously it started pulling back. We're at 3,240 right now, and there again, when you look at the year to date, we had a nice run up. We had that same pullback. It just wasn't as brutal as silver, and then it started going up again, and now it feels like it's coming back down. But I mean, when you look at it right here and you look at it right here, I mean, it doesn't take much. In a very short couple days, something could happen and it could swing it all the way back up again, where we're right back where we were. And then people miss out. And, when you look at, we'll take a look at gold over 5 years, gold continuing to escalate in price, it only makes sense to me that, once you pass that certain line, yeah, you might catch a 5-minute dip where it comes back down to that level, but then it shoots right back up again. And there's not going to be as many opportunities to pick up physical. Now, one thing that people talk about sometimes on my channel and a lot of channels is you have to understand when demand does truly pick up. Right now, all we have is a slow, quiet acquisition of silver and gold in the big players' hands. And I'll be honest, some of us small-time stackers like myself and some of you, I mean, we're acquiring, but we're acquiring, on a smaller scale. But at the end of the day, the big money is buying this stuff up hand over fist. And I know you're always going to see it in pawn shops, and you're always going to see it in coin shops. And anybody that thinks that you won't be able to find it, period, that's an outright lie, I think. You'll always be able to find silver. The thing will be, how much will you pay for it? I mean, I'll be honest, if the price skyrocketed, I might not sell all my silver, but I would definitely sell some of it. As the price goes higher and higher, you're going to want to get rid of a little bit of it. A little bit just to, enjoy life a little bit more. Maybe enjoy a little bit more of the better things in life. I'll be honest, I've even slowed down my purchases a little bit. Only because, I look at it and I say, I kind of want, I've kept on pushing back a newer vehicle. And so I'm just at the point now where I'm like, maybe if you just end up buying it. And I recently had an opportunity. I'm probably going to jump on it. I'm waiting to talk to him more later in the week to pick up a good deal on something. And I'm hoping it pans out. But at the end of the day, I'm going to keep acquiring what I can when I can, because I understand the deals are out there now. I will also slow down and strategically start picking my purchases. We did a video the other day talking a little bit about collectibles. And yeah, collectibles, there are people out there that are holding collectibles that they see now, oh my word, I finally can get my money back out of these collectibles, so I'm going to sell it because the price came up. But the truth of the matter is, the price of silver and gold has came up so much that, yeah, collectibles are easy to sell. They're easy to sell and get any amount of money back out of them. But here's the good thing about buying collectibles. Collectibles don't have huge drops, in my opinion. They don't have huge jumps either. They're not just the metal. You're buying a certain amount of collectability. And right now, with the economy slowing, the few people that are buying precious metals, for whatever the reason, they're looking just to get ounces under their belt. And I think a lot of people are missing the big picture. Now, I'm not going to go and buy a collectible for a double spot price. No. But if I can pick up a collectible for 20% more than spot, whereas I can buy bullion for 10% more than spot, that's only about a 10% difference in swing. Now, yes, on a 1 ounce collectible gold, that's a huge swing. I understand that. But on the flip side, how much am I going to save? And usually your 10% is not going to be on 1 ounce bullion. You don't pay, when you buy a 1 ounce gold coin, you don't pay a 10% premium on it. You will when you get a 1/10 ounce collectible. You're easily going to pay an extra, $50, $30, $40. And if you can pick up a collectible for $10, $20 more, to me, it's worth it. There are opportunities out there. I know a lot of people are discouraged right now. I can see it. Like I said, I can see it in the views. Yesterday's video did 555 views so far, and I mean it's 3:30 a.m. on Saturday morning right now, and I mean it's been up almost a full day, whereas my previous videos past last week, they were doing 1,000 to 2,000 views a day. It's pretty sad when actually the shorts, the short clips that I put up, actually are getting almost as many views as that. And I did put up actually 3 shorts. I said I'm getting my 1,000 views on Friday yesterday. I said I'm getting them one way or the other, and so I started putting up short videos, just little clips. Poker tournament I went to, a small jackpot that I hit, and I mean it wasn't a lot, like $150, but it was still something. And obviously I've got to put up something relating to silver or gold because that's kind of what we thrive on the channel. I got to take a quick look at Bitcoin because for me it's a little discouraging that people see the value in Bitcoin, but they can't see it in physical gold or physical silver, to a certain point. But I think that will change. I think, right now people are essentially brainwashed. I hate to say that. People think because some of these big companies like BlackRock are buying up huge amounts of Bitcoin that, it's the money of the future. I personally don't think that. Do I think that people will use it? I don't think Bitcoin is going to go away by any means. I think Bitcoin will be here to stay. But on the flip side, will it be here to stay at 100,000? There's going to be a lot of people when it does come down that are going to be devastated. And it's amazing when the price comes down how quick people are to sell. Some people just don't understand. And the same thing to a certain point happens with paper silver, paper gold. But at the end of the day, the physical stackers like me and you, we're not selling. We're holding. And yeah, we might be a little light on funds this month, or maybe even next month, depending on how you purchased your stuff. Maybe you purchased it today, you get it next week, and then you have to pay it in a month from now. That's a possibility that some of us do that. I do that. I get rewards on my card. I got 0% on my card, and it benefits me to be able to have that access when the dip comes. I didn't fully have stuff set up when silver plunged to $28. I wished I had. It was a fluke that I had gotten the deal on my card with 0%. So now it does make me keep an eye open a little bit more on what's going on and be prepared. With that being said, taking a quick look at the DXY trading at 100 right now. So we did actually finally pop over that 100. A lot of that could have to do with the Fed meeting next week. We've talked about this, the Fed meeting on the 6th and the 7th. That could end up rising the value of the dollar for a short term. However, we've seen this play out time and time again as well, where a Fed meeting comes, they prop up the dollar, they make everything look good that day, stocks do really good, Bitcoin does really well, gold and silver get the beat down, we get the opportunity to pick up a little extra on our purchase, and then all of a sudden, a week or two later, the price starts coming down again. And I think it's going to be no different, but I'm going to keep playing it out. So with that being said, not a long video. I don't even know if I made it 20 minutes. Yeah, I didn't even make it 20 minutes, but not a long video today. It is the weekend, and like I said, I've thought about changing up my schedule a little bit, but it's hard because you never really know what day is going to do good. Today being the weekend, more people could just tune in because they're at home chilling, and that's it, but with summer coming, more people are going to be doing family trips and stuff, and I expect views could slow down and stuff. So usually my summer schedule does change up anyway a little bit. I will be doing a special live event again, probably next weekend, maybe the weekend after. Opportunity for members to get some free silver, and we'll see what happens on that. No, I have a couple really cool prizes that a couple of great members have donated, so we'll see how that plays. Please be sure to check out some of these other great videos. If you see a topic, just kind of scan through. If you see a topic and you're like, oh, that looks good, I missed it, You might find one that you like, and I'm pretty confident most of them you'll like, but we try to stay up to date on everything going on. And each video, you can take a little something from it. It may seem like, oh, it's an old video and he's showing numbers that were, you ain't buying gold at $3,000 right now, but there's usually good information in those videos too. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and if you're not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. And thank you so much for watching and commenting, and I hope you all have a great day. Take care, everybody, and a great weekend. Bye bye.